All right, let's talk about something that sits at a really critical intersection of our modern world: AI, justice, and what's known as the black box problem. I want you to just think about this for a second. What if you were identified as a suspect in a crime, but the main thing pointing the finger at you was an algorithm? And when you or your lawyer asks how it came to that conclusion, you get nothing. Silence. Nobody can actually tell you why. This isn't some far-off sci-fi scenario. It's a real challenge we're grappling with right now. So the whole issue really boils down to this one core concept: the AI black box. You might have heard the term thrown around, and it's absolutely key to understanding what's at stake here. Basically, it's all about decisions that AI makes without giving us a clear, understandable reason. So what does that actually mean? Well, with a black box AI, we can see what goes in, the input data, and we can see what comes out, the final decision. But that whole process in the middle, that incredibly complex web of calculations the AI runs to get from point A to point B, it's completely hidden. It's opaque, even to the people who built it. This right here is the perfect way to visualize it. In step 1, you feed it some data, say a face from a security camera. Then, in step 3, the system spits out a decision, like a potential suspect match. But step 2, the most important part, the reasoning, is just a big question mark. How did it make that connection? What specific features did it focus on? Why did it pick this person and not someone else? That question mark, that's the black box. Okay, so let's take this out of the abstract and look at a powerful, real-world example. We're going to dive into one of the most common and, frankly, controversial uses of this tech: facial recognition in law enforcement. And here, the stakes couldn't be higher. You see, police departments all over the world are now using these AI systems. They can scan through millions and millions of images in massive databases to try and find a match for a suspect. I mean, it's a tool that's designed to speed up investigations and maybe find leads that a human officer could easily miss. And this is where we get to the core of the problem. This isn't just an issue for the person being accused. It's a huge problem for the authorities themselves. The source material makes it really clear. Even the officials running the software often can't get a straight answer for why the AI flagged one person over another. The why is a mystery to absolutely everyone involved. So this sets up a fundamental conflict, a real clash of principles. How can a justice system that's built on evidence, on logic, and on reason, how can it work properly when one of its main tools operates without any explanation at all? This is where the AI black box runs straight into the legal bedrock of due process. You know, due process is a cornerstone of our entire legal system. It's what guarantees you the right to a fair hearing, the right to actually confront and challenge the evidence that's being used against you. But if that evidence comes from an algorithm that can't explain itself, how in the world are you supposed to challenge it? Let's just break this down because the contrast is so stark. In a normal legal case, you have the ability to examine the evidence, right? You can cross-examine a witness, you can have a fingerprint analyzed, you have a right to a real explanation. But with a black box accusation, the reasoning is totally hidden. No one can give you a meaningful explanation. And that leads to the most crucial point. If you can't question the reasoning, you can't effectively challenge the decision. Your ability to mount a defense is crippled from the start. So you see, this isn't just a tech problem or a legal problem. It blows up into a massive governance challenge. It forces all of us to ask a really tough question. Are our laws, which were written for a world of human decisions and human errors, are they even remotely equipped to handle an age of automated judgment? And the source material really points to a major governance failure here. First, this lack of transparency, this opacity, just eats away at the idea of procedural justice. Second, it leaves people totally unable to question the accusations against them. And finally, our current laws, they just weren't built for this. They're not sufficient to solve this very new, very complex problem. So we end with this question, and it's a big one. It's for everyone: lawmakers, tech developers, and for all of us as citizens. As we continue to weave these incredibly powerful yet deeply mysterious tools into our society, we have to figure out what our standard for justice is going to be. What does justice even look like when a piece of evidence that could change someone's entire life can't explain itself?